Good morning. Good morning from Melbourne, Australia. Good evening to friends in North America. And hello to anyone watching on replay. My name is Nancy Hetker, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. And when you're joining me, please do say hello in the comments, whether you're watching live or on replay on Facebook or on YouTube. I do see all your comments and appreciate them. Feel free to ask questions anywhere along the way. Good morning, Gladys. Thanks for joining me today. And if throughout the week or at any time you want to reach out to me, there is my email address, nancy@nancysniftynotes.com, and my website, nancysniftynotes.com. The cards that I make today will be in my next blog post, which you will be able to find right there. So let's get started. I received this very fun card as obviously a thank you. I'm part of a random act of kindness card group, and I sent somebody a birthday card and they sent me a thank you card, and I'm calling it a flip flap card because it goes flip flap. It's got a flippy flap. And I thought, how fun, because you get to see both sides of the designer series paper, and it flips and it flaps, and then you've got it inside. So I thought, how fun to make some of my own. So I've changed it up a little bit. I know she made a whole bunch of these because I've seen them posted in our Facebook group. So I think she did a whole bunch of these panels and then a whole bunch of cards, and, you know, kind of not slap them together, but put them all together and sent them out. Because I am not trying to do a bulk load of them. I am going to change up my image panel a little bit. But I took advantage of our designer series paper sale to get a couple of papers that I hadn't ordered before. And one of them is this Full of Life. And if you like bright color, this is just speaks to me in so many ways. It's bright colors. It's the watercolor wash look that I really like. Blended colors, just stunning. And I've seen all kinds of really cool things done with it. I don't know why I hadn't bought it yet, but, you know, just other things floated to the top of my wish list first. But it was great. I got it 15% off on sale. And so I took a piece of it and cut it to the right dimensions. And it's got that on the other side. And I thought that would be fun to make. Isn't the paper interesting? Yes. Hello, Paula. Thanks for joining me. So I cut it to the right size. It's not quite square. And then it has one score line in it that I'm going to do there. And then fold that over. We're going to burnish that fold. There we go. Bone folder. And then I thought we would go ahead and pull in some of this crushed curry color. Even though when it's like this, you don't see a lot of it. When you open it, you will. And it just works well, I think. And then the other color, I thought about using Berry Burst, but that kind of got lost in here, believe it or not. And so I went with Real Red. And I'm excited to see that all made up. So I've got my white panel that's going to go on there. And I haven't decided if I'm going to emboss it or not. I'm thinking maybe not with the other stuff going on. But I was looking for something to go on here because this is a pretty contemporary style. And I didn't think sort of traditional flowery. I think anything could go on there. A lot of things could go on there. But I decided I wanted to make one of these bees. I haven't used my bees in a long time. And even though it says Valentine, the bee is just cute and can be used for all kinds of things. But I didn't really want to use one of these bee the bee sentiments didn't leap out at me, although You'll Always Be the One for me was fine. You Make My Heart Buzz, that would be fine. So I decided, I pulled out Irresistible Blooms, and I'm going to use this Hooray, It's Your Day. I think I'm going to make my bee first. And I decided I don't have to keep it flat one layer because I'm not bulk making these, so I don't have to do something that's like super, super efficient. So I am going to bring in, there's my bee's body. I'm going to go this way. And I've got Daffodil Delight, which is also one of the colors in here. The Crushed Curry I just thought was too dark. So I'm going to make a bee's body here. And I brought in my mat because these solid images do better on photopolymer with the mat. Because they don't have any cushioning built in the way the red rubber stamps do. And we're going to do some more with black. And again, this is Memento Tuxedo Black ink added to one of our uninked stamp pads that is designed to be used with our white craft or pigment ink. But instead of filling it with that, I filled it with Memento, so we get this nice, rich black for a nice impression. And excuse me if my head gets in the way. I want to really line up these bee parts, bee bits. There we go. Good. Good morning, Sarah. Thanks for joining me. And let's see, we'll put some wings. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do the wings separately because I'm going to punch this out. And I'm going to do the antennae separately. Hopefully those will work. And I'm going to put a face on the bee. There we go. This one has a coordinating punch. So we'll see if I've placed things in ways that are easy to punch. This one works well. That's why you turn your punch upside down. You can line it up and punch. And then I may not have done this quite right to get all of them, but we'll see how it works out. I have lots of basic white scrap. I am not worried. There's that. Come here. And let's stamp those again. This one's going to fit in here like so-ish. And there we go. Okay. And I am going to figure out where I want this on here. And figure out where I want my sentiment. We'll try to center that a bit. This one says, hooray, it's your day. And I think the other thing we're going to do is we're going to add in this little V trail. Why not? I don't know, is my feed coming through okay? I can't quite tell. I could use a glue dot to stick these wings on, or just a little bit of sticky tape. But I think maybe these antennae will do with a glue dot if I can find them. Ah, there they are. Look kind of funny there, don't they? Oh well. Okay, I'm going to stick that on. I'm going to wait to stick it on until I've put it together, but I am going to put the dimensionals on now. There we go. Now, let's assemble this one. So, we're going to put glue on the designer series paper. Yeah, I like the bee, but I'm always a sucker for cute critters. Okay, that's on there. And then let's get this on. Now this is not quite square either. So you just gotta make sure when you're doing them that you get it oriented the right way and get it aligned right. Come on. Oh my. There we go. And we'll get some glue on this side. And get it centered if we can. So Glenn was in Chicago. He flew out last Thursday morning to LA, to Chicago, and then yesterday he flew from Chicago back to LA. His flight was delayed by 2.5 hours, and everybody was pretty well convinced he was going to miss his connection back direct to Melbourne and was going to have to come through Sydney on a later flight. But he and another passenger, fortunately, on the domestic side, they landed quite close to the international terminal, and they basically ran and made it onto the Melbourne flight, and he was only carry-on because he was only going for a couple days, and they made it just fine. They were doing last call when they hit the international terminal. I'm trying to decide. I'm going to put that there. Should I do it on the side? Across the bottom. What do you think, side or bottom? Maybe the bottom. I'll see what you guys say. So the other passenger who ran with him, her luggage will be on the later flights, Sydney to Melbourne, but she's coming home, and she wasn't worried about her luggage catching up to her, and Glenn was just fine. So he got back here before 7 this morning. But, oh, one side, one bottom. Yeah, I don't know if he's a good runner, but he has long legs, so that helps. I got one side, I got one bottom. Who's going to break the tie? Kind of like the side. Gotta say. Let me make sure it's trimmed the right length. So, yeah, he's home now, which is good. The dogs are very happy. They were very excited to see him. Oh, that won't work. There we go. Just a little bit. And he was happy to discover he had nothing on his calendar for today, so he's being very mellow. And I must say I did enjoy being alone in the house with the dogs. 4 days and days and days. It was a good thing. Okay, so there's one card. There's the one. And then I've got everything ready to go for a second card. And, oh, let me show you the designer series paper. The other designer series paper I bought in the sale is called Unbounded Beauty. And this one features like all of the brand new in colors. Of course, they're not brand new at this point, but the 2024, 2026 in colors. And they will work quite nicely for double-sided stuff as well. In fact, Monday's blog post featured a piece of this on the swing sympathy card that I made. It featured this designer series paper. But for this card, whoops, make sure it doesn't fall on the floor. Oh, and that's part of this, the Unbounded Beauty suite, and this actually has a set of dies that cuts out, that's tags that coordinate with these very nicely. And so this is actually wound up being from this suite. So here's what I have already pre-made. So there's that designer series paper. And the original card was just straight on cardstock, but I thought this one, because there's so much of that summer sky, I thought it needed a matte. So that's what we're gonna do. We'll start with that. Same fold. Yeah, the paper's very fun, and it feels, maybe I didn't get it because when it first came out, we were in autumn. We're headed into autumn, and now, especially this week, it feels like we're headed into spring, although we still have another several weeks officially of winter. And despite being, what, 20 or about 70 degrees most days this week, we are going back into chilly temps this weekend, which is good because people won't feel so bad about being at class on Saturday, right, Sarah? So we'll get this on here. Yeah, just having that little bit of matte just really helps this one. And again, because I'm not doing a bulk batch, I don't feel like it's, I feel great using that paper. So then for this layer, I took this Pretty in Pink that's on these little flowers here and brought that in. And instead of stamping, I thought that would be nice on there. And then I need something over here. So from Unbounded Love, I pulled there's a happy birthday stamp. You know me, happy birthday all the time. And I'm going to do that in Petunia Pop. And I'm going to do it towards the center on this side. That on here. So once you know what you're doing, these are actually pretty fast. Oh goodness. Let's get it. This is an awkward measurement. I have a feeling it could be like 1 millimeter wider, but we'll go with what we've got. And I'm going to glue that on there. I should have come over a little bit more, but that's okay. It will be fine, just fine. And these little dots of glue, again, I just squeeze it enough that I have a little tip of it there, and I just hold it there and touch it on there. And now we're going to figure out if I've gone too far up. Yep, there's a little bit right there. So what I find, if I get a little bit of glue off the edge there, I can come in with my embossing buddy, and the powder covers up the sticky from the glue. Which it will show, like if I were to do that here where there's a little bit of sticky, it'll look kind of dirty. So I don't want to do that there, but I can just come in with this glue eraser. Looks like I really wanted to have a little dab of glue right there. We'll do that. There we go. again. We'll try to get it straight. And I'm looking left to right as well as top to bottom. Try to get it centered. I can see a couple more spots where I moved it around and got glue where I don't necessarily want it. There we go. And then I pulled, let's see if I can talk here. This one I'm going to keep plain on the inside. The first card, when I cut down the 6x6, I had that strip. And this, I cut out of 12x12, and I cut exactly the size I needed. So I don't have excess. I don't really feel like cutting off a little bit just to put inside here. So I'm going to keep that one plain. I could have made it a smaller white layer and put Petunia Pop back there too, but it's going to be just fine plain. And then for embellishments, the question is, do I do some sparkle gems, or shimmer gems they call them, or butterflies? Feel free to give me some input here, ladies. I would probably do the pink ones, and I could make them, I could do both, of course. Sarah says gems. Shimmer gems, okay. Looks like we're trending that way. The pink ones. Or summer sky. Okay, so we've got consensus on gems. Oh my goodness. This, you know, this is what I struggle with. You guys are probably seeing exactly what I should be doing, and I'm seriously struggling. Now I'm looking in the camera. Just drop them. I love it. I'm also thinking maybe nope. Stopping. Okay. That's what I have for you today. So there's Flip Flap card 1, Flip Flap card 2, and I will put I will put measurements on the blog post. Yeah, I'll figure it out for, this is metric, and I will figure out for inches as well. Gladys, I know you said you wanted to make them. They're not hard to figure out, so I will get that up soon-ish, and I will see you same time, same place next week. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.